We're going to get into the Fine Five, Ugly Five, five best, five worst teams in the league. So what we have found out over the course of the last couple of weeks, that essentially there are five really bad teams, and we've kind of been in the same mix of these five bad teams. So we will start with the Ugly Five. Who are the five worst teams in the NFL after 8 weeks? We're about midway through the season here. So instead of going one by one, why don't you just give your five, 4, 3, 2, 1 in that order there, Geoff Mosher.
All right, well, I'm being a little week to week, which I don't like to do, but this is the segment where we can. I'm kicking the Chargers out of my...
They won last week.
That's why I'm kicking them out. Although I still think that they're very possibly still one of the worst five. What?
It's so backwards, your process with this. They're
won. Awful.
You just said you're going to go week to week, and the team won.
Yeah. Well, this is the Ugly Five, right? We're starting off with the Ugly Five.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I kicked them out, meaning they're not in my five. So they won. That's what I'm saying. They were my fifth last week, and now they are not.
Okay.
They're
Tiger got out of the cage.
Yeah, they're like 5A. Or
5B. All right.
I put the Jets back in. So the Jets lost to the Jags. I actually thought the Jets were going to give a better game. They did not. They've got a lot of dysfunction going on, as they normally do. So they're my fifth. My fourth is the Falcons. My third is Washington. My second is the Bengals. And my first is Miami.
Oh.
All right. What do you got?
My turn. 5, the Falcons. And I just feel like they should be worse than that because it just seems like they're getting worse and worse. But I'm keeping them at 5 just because the other 4 are that bad.
No, that's how bad it is. Like any other year, they'd probably be a top
number
3.
one, number 1 meaning the worst. Number 4, fourth worst team, New York Jets. Number 3, the Washington Redskins. They've been losing, but I feel like they're also a team that isn't as bad sometimes. Like they keep it close in games. They cover the spread for you, but they're not going to win. They're number 3 for me. Number 2 is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're an absolute mess, 0-8. And number 1, Miami Dolphins, as always.
5, Atlanta. 4, the Jets. 3, Washington. 2, Miami. And I'm sticking with Cincinnati at number 1. Cincinnati's 0-8. They're now changing quarterbacks. They're benching Andy Dalton, who is, the one established player they have. They're going to go to a rookie in that spot. A.J. Green came out today and said, basically, if you're not going to give me a long-term deal, get me the heck out of here. Why wouldn't you have traded him yesterday? That place is a disaster. I think they're actually in worse because Miami at least is so far ahead of these bad teams. They got more draft picks, more everything than these teams.
I agree. This is the first week I wrestled, Mike, with doing what you did, and that's moving Miami up to 2 and Cincinnati into number 1.
They played well on Monday night. They've covered the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Did you guys see what came out with Andy Dalton?
Oh, no.
So
I know he's coming out. He's coming out of the game.
They benched him, and he's saying, my agent has been trying to move me, and the timing of the benching is basically like a big middle finger to Andy Dalton because they're saying the benching is bad timing with his
it'd be bad timing
value on the market.
No, because the market's passed.
Right.
They actually did him a favor.
But when did they actually bench him? It was before the deadline. It was...
No, he played last week, though. Like, they may have said
but then after the game, they were like, he's getting benched, and that was the week of the trade deadline.
Yeah, but it's like, what are they? Does he think that they were duping the scouts across the league? Oh, wait, they're benching him? He must suck. It's not that they're 0-8.
It's not that he's 0-11.
Or whatever it is, yeah.
There's a different Andy Dalton? Is this the same guy?
This is no wonder why they're 0-8. His decision-making is awful.
Right.
Yeah, they're atrocious, man. And a poorly run organization. Look, they might not win a game, and the coach there might be a one-and-doner. You go 0-16 in your first year. Now, I get it, Flores is going to go 0-16 too, but their expectation was Cincinnati had a team that thought was competitive.
Yeah.
All wrong.
I think there's a chance. I think that they knew getting into it that they would probably be on a new quarterback next year. So I don't know if he'll be but I think Adam Gase is more of a shot to be a one-and-doner than Zach Taylor. Adam Gase may not make it through 16 games.
Yeah, he could be a one and done or two. Well, he wasn't even
Did you
hired by Douglas.
Right, and did you hear the owner? The owner was caught on video saying, like, there was a fan that said, I'm going to the game all the way from Alabama, and he goes, well, hopefully the team shows up for you this time.
Yeah, right? God almighty. All right, Fine five best. These are a lot more fun. The ugly five have just been awfully ugly all season long, although the Broncos might be in that mix too. They got Flacco's out, and they got a guy playing quarterback who I've never heard of today. Brandon Allen is going to be named the starting quarterback for the Broncos. So they're inching their way in potentially too. All right, Fine five. Who are the five best teams in the league? Ryan, who do you have?
From 5 to 1?
Yep.
All right, here we go. All five. Number 5 is the Seattle Seahawks. Number 4 is the Green Bay Packers. 3, 49ers. 2, Saints. 1, Patriots.
Wow, no Chiefs.
No Chiefs.
Chiefs are 5B. They're very close, but I give the Seahawks a little bit more credit there with the 6-2 record.
No Chiefs. I got no Chiefs. Just
I
a
know.
little teaser.
I'm. This is me being like the less of the week-to-week guy and still believing that they are what they are with Mahomes. So number 5 is my only new team, and that's the 49ers. So I kicked the Seahawks out even after a win. 4, I have the Packers. 3, I have the Saints. 2, I have still the Kansas City Chiefs. I do believe they are that good when Pat Mahomes is quarterback. And number 1 is that team from Boston that plays in New England.
All right, 5, Green Bay, first time in. 4, Minnesota. 3, New Orleans. 2, San Francisco. 1, New England. If we're halfway through the year, I got a Patriots 49ers Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, you do. I've got a Patriots Saints Super Bowl.
Yep.
So do I.
And yet I can't really envision that. I guess I could.
I've been hearing a lot of interested to get your guys' take on this. And I don't know how I feel about it, but I've been hearing a lot of comparison of this 49er team as like being compared to like the 17 Rams offensively that have like a quarterback who's just not asked to do a whole heck of a lot. They have good weapons, but that the quarterback's not asked to do a lot, and they don't have to do a lot because their defense is going to be so good that he will not be in position to be asked to do a lot.
I still thought of a 2017 Rams as an explosive offense, though, and a good.
I mean, you didn't think
defense.
of Goff, though.
No, just the
you
offense.
You saw the Rams, but you didn't think of Goff.
Yeah.
But this 49er offense is explosive. I mean, they got to be the top around the board. We just don't think of them like that because their defense is so good, but their offense is unbelievable.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty good. They get a lot of turnovers. They flip the field. They run the ball very, very well. Are they a top 5 scoring team?
I'm pulling this up right now because
I know the number 2 teams are New England and Baltimore.
They are in. Let's see.
I never really viewed the Niners like the Rams, like how I viewed the Rams in 2017. Now that you talk it out, I get the comparison, but
because they don't have the star players,
right?
Like the Rams didn't on that team. They didn't really. I mean, they had Gurley.
And Goff though was a number 1 overall pick. He was supposed to be a star.
49ers average 30 points a game.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty high. That's got to be 3rd in the league, I guess.
3rd in the league.
Yeah.
New England's 1st. Baltimore's 2nd. San Francisco 29.6. I'm rounding up.
Yeah.
They average more points than the Chiefs do.
Yeah. I mean, their offense has been very successful. I wouldn't look at it as like explosive. I'm not knocking them. It's just not how I viewed the offense, as explosive as the Rams was in 17. But
see, I think
they're getting it done.
Top heavy because they only scored 9 against Washington, and then
they scored 51.
Yeah, I was gonna say they must have a couple of games like
31, 41, 24, 31, 29, and 51.
Yeah, that 51 really helps.
See,
the average
and
there.
if you, this is the thing. Like when you watch them, their names aren't explosive, but their
right.
talent is, like they have so much speed on offense. They're so explosive.
They are.
Their offense has so much team speed on it. Like a variety of guys have speed. It's like when you watch them, you're like, look how fast this guy's so fast. This guy's so fast. This guy's like they have speed everywhere.
I see great comparisons now that you brought it up between how the coach's philosophy really blends well with the personnel on offense. McVay. His ability to turn that running game around.
Now, if you're a Shanahan coach, you're going to get plucked.
Yo, gosh. if you met Kyle Shanahan's assistant coaches, you are about to get plucked. That is true. I think Shanahan he's always been able to get the most out of running backs, just like his dad. And now he's got running backs who are like
three of
legit
them.
Good, yeah.
And they're all fast as could be.
Yeah,
I mean,
they run the ball very well.
They
And here's
put
another
tight ends
thing.
on the field.
You know, they were talking about this on my drive in today on Golick and Wingo, which was, and, you know, their defense is what they are. But he said, which offensive lines in the NFC are going to be able to block these guys? Like, you got some like the Vikings have a bad offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the teams that are actually decent, like Dallas has a pretty good offensive line. Philly's offensive
Dallas,
line
Philly, New
is
Orleans.
good. But, like, a lot of teams just don't have good offensive lines to match up with their defense, and you know, that's a big factor.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. But halfway through the year, that's who we got as the 1s and 2s. You guys got Saints and Patriots Super Bowls, it sounds like, and I got Patriots and 49ers.
Is the Bosa brothers thing like cool? Is that like a good story? Like to have two brothers just dominating this league?
Definitely.
I think it's pretty rare, right?
It's unbelievable.
It's got to be very rare. Yeah, I think.
Well,
it's
there's a
really
lot of
cool.
people, too, that think that the younger Bosa should not only be the Rookie of the Year, that the Defensive Player of the Year.
And I remember Joey's first year. He had to sit out for 5 games, right? And then he had like a sack in his first 7 games, I think. So.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN.